Hello friends, welcome to IAS ABHIYAN quick revision series of standard books. In this video lecture series, we will deal with spectrum publication of modern India history. Today we will deal with chapter 17, that is emergence of Swarajist socialist ideas, revolutionary activities and other new forces. So who are Swarajists and no changes? Swarajists are those advocating entry into legislative councils, and no changers are those that are led by C. Rajgopalachari, Vallabhbhai Patel, Rajendra Prasad, M. Ansari, who opposed the council entry and advocated concentration on constructive work and continuation of boycott and non-cooperation. They are quite preparation for resumption of the suspended civil disobedience program. Congress announced the formation of Congress Khilafat Swarajya Party, or simply Swarajist Party, with C.R. Das as the president and Motilal Nehru as one of the secretaries. What are the arguments of Swarajists? The Swarajists had their reasons for advocating the entry into the councils. Entering into the councils would not negate the non-cooperation program. It would be like carrying out the movement through other means, like opening a new front. In a time of political vacuum, council work would serve to stimulate the masses and keep up their morale. Entry of nationalists would deter the government from stuffing the councils with undesirable elements who may be used to provide legitimacy to government measures. The councils could be used as an arena of political struggle, and there was no intention to use the councils as organs for gradual transformation of colonial rule. Some of the arguments of no changers include that parliamentary work would lead to neglect of constructive work, loss of revolutionary zeal, and to political corruption. Both sides, that is Swarajists and the no changers, also realized the significance of putting up a united front to get a mass movement to force the government to introduce reforms. Both sides accepted the necessity of Gandhi's leadership of a united nationalist front. A compromise was reached at a meeting in Delhi in September 1923. The elections to the newly constituted Central Legislative Assembly and to the provincial assemblies were to be held in November 1923. Next is the Swarajist Manifesto for Elections. The Swarajist Manifesto for Elections was released in October 1923, which took a strong anti-imperialist line. The points put forward in the Swarajist Manifesto includes the Swarajists would present the nationalist demand of self-government in councils, and if this demand was rejected, they would adopt a policy of uniform, continuous and consistent obstruction within the councils to make governance through councils impossible. What was Gandhi's attitude during this period? Gandhi was initially opposed to the Swarajist proposal of council entry, but after his release from prison on health grounds in February 1924, he gradually moved towards a reconciliation with the Swarajists. He felt public opposition to the program of council entry would be counterproductive. In the November 1923 elections, Swarajists had a clear majority in the provincial assembly of central provinces. There was a government crackdown on revolutionary terrorists and the Swarajists toward the end of 1924. Both the sides, that is the Swarajists and the no changers, came to an agreement in 1924. Some of the activity of Swarajists in the councils include the Swarajists lost the support of many Muslims when the party did not support the tenants, caused the zamindars in Bengal. Responsibilists among Swarajists include Lala Lajpat Rai, Madan Mohan Malaviya, and C. Kalkar advocated cooperation with the government and holding of office wherever possible. Thus, the main leadership of the Swarajists party reiterated faith in mass civil disobedience and withdrew from legislatures in March 1926. In 1930, the Swarajists finally walked out as a result of the Lahore Congress resolution on Purna Swaraj and the beginning of civil disobedience movement. Some of the achievements includes that they agitated through powerful speeches on self-government, civil liberties, and industrialization. Vithal Bhai Patel was elected Speaker of Central Legislative Assembly in 1925. A noteworthy achievement was the defeat of the Public Safety Bill in 1928, which was aimed at empowering the government to deport undesirable and subversive foreigners. By their activities, they filled the political vacuum at a time when the national movement was recopying its strength. They exposed the hollowness of the Montfort scheme. They demonstrated that the councils could be used creatively. Some of the drawbacks includes during this phase that Swarajists lacked a policy to coordinate their military inside legislatures with the mass struggle outside. They relied totally on newspaper reporting to communicate with the public. An obstructionist strategy had its limitations. Swarajists could not carry on with their coalition partners very far because of conflicting ideas, which further limited their effectiveness. They failed to resist the perks and privileges of power and office, and also failed to support the peasants' cause in Bengal, as well as lost support among Muslim members who were pro-peasant. Constructive work by no changers. The no changers devoted themselves to constructive work that connected them to the different sections of the masses. Ashrams sprang up where young men and women walked among tribals and lower castes and popularized the use of charkha and khadim. National schools and colleges were set up where students were trained in a non-colonial ideological framework. Significant work was done for Hindu-Muslim unity, removing untouchability, boycott of foreign cloth and liquor, and for food relief. The constructive workers served as the backbone of civil disobedience as active organizers. A critique of constructive work include that the national education benefited the urban lower middle classes only and the rich peasants only. Popularization of khadi was an uphill task since it was costlier than the imported cloth. So these are the constructive work by the no changers. During this phase, some of the emergence of new forces includes the socialist ideas, youth powers, trade unionism, spread of Marxism, and socialist ideas. The ideas of Marx and socialist thinkers inspired many young nationalists inspired by the Soviet Union and dissatisfied with Gandhian ideas and political program. They began advocating radical solutions for economic, political, and social ills of the country. These younger nationalists were critical of both Swarajists and no changers. They advocated a more consistent and imperialist line in the form of a slogan for Purna Swarajyam, that is, complete independence. The young nationalists were influenced by an awareness stressed the need to combine nationalism and anti-imperialism with social justice, and also simultaneously raised the question of internal class oppression by capitalists and landlords. Communist Party of India. The party was formed in 1920 in Tashkent, now the capital of Uzbekistan, by M.N. Roy, Abani Mukherjee, and others after the Second Congress of Communist International. M.N. Roy was also the first to be elected to the leadership of Communist International in 1924. Many communists like S.A. Dange, Muzaffar Ahmad, Shaukat Usmani, Nalini Gupta were jailed in the Kanpur Bolshevik conspiracy case. In the 1925, the Indian Communist Conference at Kanpur formalized the foundation of the Communist Party of India. In 1929, the government crackdown on communists resulted in the arrest and trial of 31 leading communists, trade unionists, and left wing leaders. They were tried at Meerut in the famous Meerut conspiracy case. So you have to remember that Meerut conspiracy case was held during 1929. Activism of Indian youth. All our students' leagues were being established and students' conference were being held. In 1928, Jawaharlal Nehru presided over the All Bengal Students' Conference. There were some peasant agitations that took place in Rampur region of Andhra, in Rajasthan, in Ryotwar areas of Bombay and Madras. The Bardoli Satyagraha, which was led by Vallabhbhai Patel in Gujarat during 1928. There was also a growth of trade unionism that was led by All India Trade Union Congress, which is founded in 1920, where Lala Lajpat Rai was its first president and Diwan Chaman Lal as its general secretary. Major strikes during 1920s included those in Kharagpur railway workshops, Tata Iron and Steel Works, Bombay Textile Mills, and Buckingham Carnatic Mills. In 1923, the first May Day was celebrated in India in Madras. So the first president of All India Trade Union Congress was Lala Lajpat Rai and its general secretary was Diwan Chaman Lal. The All India Trade Union Congress was founded in 1920. There were some caste movements during this phase, which include Justice Party in Madras, Self-Respect Movement in 1925 under Periyar, that is E.V. Ramaswamy Naik in Madras, Satya Sodak activities in Satara, Maharashtra, Bhaskar Rao Jadhav in Maharashtra, Mahards under Ambedkar, Radical Isnavas under K. Ayappan and C. Kesavan in Kerala, Yadavas in Bihar for improvement in social status, Unionist Party under Faiz Ali Hussain in Punjab. You have to remember these caste movements and the places where these movements were occurred. They are very, very important for the prelims point of view. Revolutionary activity with a turn towards socialism. This line was adopted by those dissatisfied with the nationalist strategy of the political struggle with its emphasis on non-violence. Two strands developed during this phase, that is the Hindustan Republican Association, Yugantar Anushilyan groups, and later Chittagong Revolt group under Surya Sen in Bengal. Revolutionary activity during the 1920s. Two separate stands of revolutionary groups emerged during this period, one operating in Punjab, UP, Bihar, and the other in Bengal. Major influences: upsurge of working class trade unionism after the war. The revolutionaries wanted to harness the revolutionary potential of the new emergent class for nationalist revolution. Russian Revolution and the success of the young Soviet state in the consolidating itself. Newly sprouting communist groups with their emphasis on Marxism, socialism, and proletariat. Journals publishing memoirs and articles extolling the self-sacrifice of revolutionaries such as Atmasakti, Sarathi, and Bizoli. Novels and books such as Bandi Jivan by Sachin Sanyal and Pather Dabi by Sarat Chandra Chatterjee, a government ban, only enhanced its popularity. So you have to remember that there are some journals, that is Atmasakti, Sarathi, and Bizoli, which extolling the self-sacrifice of revolutionaries, as well as there are some novels like Bandi Jivan by Sachin Sanyal and Pather Dabi by Sarat Chandra Chatterjee. Revolutionary activity in Punjab, United Provinces, and Bihar. Revolutionary activity in this region was dominated by the Hindustan Republican Association, Army or HRA, later named as Hindustan Socialist Republican Association or HSRA. The Hindustan Republican Association was founded in October 1924 in Kanpur. Some of the important events during this phase includes Kakori robbery, which was held in August 1925, which is one of the most important action of Hindustan Republican Association, where a man held up the 8 dawn train at Kakori, an obscure village near Naklo, and looted its official railway case. The Hindustan Republican Association, determined to overcome the Kakori setback, the younger revolutionaries, inspired by socialist ideas, set out to reorganize Hindustan Republican Association at a historic meeting in the ruins of Firoz Kotla in Delhi. Saunders' murder, that is held in Lahore during December 1928. The death of Sere Punjab Lala Lajpat Rai due to lathi blows received during a lathi charge on an anti-Simon commission procession led them once again to take to individual assassination. The next is the Bhagat Singh and Batukeshwar Dutt were asked to throw a bomb in the Central Legislative Assembly in April 8, 1929. To protest against the passage of Public Safety Bill and the Trade Disputes Bill aimed at curtailing civil liberties of citizens in general and workers in particular. Action against the revolutionaries, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru were tried in the Lahore conspiracy case. Jatin Das became the first martyr on the 64th day of his feast. Azad was involved in a bid to blow up Viceroy Irwin's train near Delhi in December 1929. Azad died in a police encounter in a park in Allahabad in February 1931. Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru were hanged on March 23, 1931. The revolutionary activities in Bengals. After Das' death in 1925, the Bengal Congress broke up into two factions, one led by J.M. Sengupta, that is Anusilian group joined forces with him, and the other led by Subhas Bose, that is Yuganta group backed him. The actions of the reorganized groups included an assassination attempt on the notorious Calcutta police commissioners Charles Taggart. Another man named Day got killed by Gopinath Shah in 1924. Chittagong Armory raid, which was held during 1930, where Suri Sen decided to organize an armed rebellion along with his associates. They are Anand Singh, Ganesh Ghosh and Loknath Ball, to show that it was possible to challenge the armed might of the military British Empire. The Chittagong Armory raid was conducted in April 1930 and involved 65 activists under the banner of Indian Republican Army, Chittagong branch. Surya Sen was arrested in February 1933 and hanged in January 1934. Some of the aspects of the new phase of revolutionary movement in Bengal includes there was a large-scale participation of young women, especially under Surya Sen. Prominent women revolutionaries in Bengal during this phase included Pritilata Vadedar, who died conducting a raid, Kalpana Dutt, who was arrested and tried along with Surya Sen and given a life sentence, Santi Ghosh and Suniti Chanderi, school girls of Komila who shot dead the district magistrate, and Veena Das, who fired point blank at the governor while receiving her degree at the convocation. There was an emphasis on group action aimed at organs of the colonial state instead of individual action. The objective was to set an example before the youth and to demoralize the bureaucracy. There was participation by Muslims. Surya Sen had Muslims such as Sattar, Mir Ahmad, Fakir Ahmad Mian and Tutu Mian in his group. There were some drawbacks in Bengal too, that the movement retained some conservative elements and it has failed to evolve broader socio-economic goals. Those working with Swarajists failed to support the cause of Muslim peasantry against Jamindars in Bengal. Ideological rethinking. A real breakthrough was made by Bhagat Singh and his comrades in terms of revolutionary ideology, forms of revolutionary struggle, and the goals of revolution. Famous statement of the revolutionary position is contained in the book The Philosophy of the Bomb, written by Bhagavati Charan Bhora, in the words, revolution could only be by the masses for the masses. That is why Bhagat Singh helped establish the Punjab Naujawan Bharat Sabha in 1926 as an open wing of revolutionaries to carry out political work. So you have to remember that Punjab Naujawan Bharat Sabha, which was established in 1926, was established by Bhagat Singh. Redefining revolution. Revolution was no longer equated with militancy and violence. Its objective was to be national liberation. Bhagat Singh said in the quote, revolution does not necessarily involve sezonary strife, nor is there a place in it for personal Vedanta. It is not the cult of bomb and pistol. By revolution, we mean the present order of things, which is based on manifest injustice, must change. Bhagat Singh has defined socialism scientifically as abolition of capitalism and class domination. Thank you for watching.